Tube. Get this rolling here. Is that fine? I know it's kind of a new vantage point with this table thing I got. Let's try something here. All right, we'll go with that. All right, let's get this going. So, second half podcast. Haven't done, we did one for the Northwestern game, Hot Ones Challenge. That was fun. The game was not. Let's get going. It is the 200 level. Mike Carpenter in the basement studio, back in my home basement studio after a little trip up to Indiana over the weekend, and we did the Hot Ones Challenge on Friday as Illinois lost painstakingly in overtime to Northwestern. We're about to get underway here. It is a 4-point Illinois lead at halftime against Wisconsin, and what I thought was a very spirited effort. I mean, some really good stretches defensively. Trey White, fantastic. Kylan Boswell really starting to shape into the defensive stopper, and that's bleeding into the offensive side of the court as well. Kasparas, some big shots, but a 4-point game because of two main reasons. One, we cannot hit our threes. That's a problem. And two, Wisconsin has hit just enough timely shots, sometimes frustratingly so. Guys like Gilmore, what the hell? Janicki, don't get me. I can't do this. I cannot do the Wisconsin no-name white dude thing from Sheboygan again. But that's what we're going to do for perpetuity. That's just what it is when you play Wisconsin, regardless of the coach. So we are about to get underway. If you're timing this out, I will let you know as Peacock is removing a lighting rig for Robbie Hummel. We are underway. So, 4-point lead for Illinois as Wisconsin gets the first possession of the half. There's a lot to talk about in this game because it feels like we're learning a lot about this team and possible rotations going forward. Underwood's been a little bit quick on the trigger to make those changes today after the Northwestern, not debacle, but probably, as he admitted yesterday, a little too slow to make those changes. So Wisconsin's possession going all the way down to a few seconds left in the shot clock. This will be Crowell having to force one up on Ivicic, and it's no good. Great defense from Illinois to start the half. So KJ will bring the ball across half court. The 19:20 left on the game clock. Kylan looking for Benham Rickhouse. The three is up. It is in, and so badly needed, and hopefully a jump start for Ben, who had been struggling mightily the last 3 games or so. We'll talk plenty about Benham Rickhouse, and there is a distinct role that he has on this team, and it doesn't have a whole lot to do with defense, so that means there's one thing he has to do, is he kind of sags too far from his man, and that is a 3 for Noah Winter. So you make a 3 and you give up a 3. I try not to pick on guys individually, but in the NIL era, it's a little bit less, I feel a little bit less bad, I suppose, knowing that these transfers that come in are making money, as Trey White with a really silly turnover there. Benham Rickhouse makes a 3. Immediately gives it up because he's sagging too far. And why is he sagging? To double up Stephen Crowell? He's in no man's land. That kind of defense is atrocious. And yet again, he sagged too far. Noah Winter takes it to the rim. It is 5-3, Noah Winter to Benham Rickhouse to start the half. And I hate to pick on a guy, but get his ass out. If that's what it's going to be, get him out of the game. KJ finds Ivicic, but that is just maddening to me. If you are going to be on the court and get starters minutes, at least play a semblance of defense. And now we got a mismatch down low, and hopefully Ivicic and Benham Rickhouse switch, because right now Rickhouse is on Crowell. Okay, here's Crowell. He fakes the 3. Ivicic still on Noah Winter. No switch yet. Blackwell with the ball, taking a baseline up and easy in. So after a good first possession on defense for Illinois, 3 straight shots made for Wisconsin. I'm a little bit more fired up tonight because at the end of the day, you're seeing some guys for Illinois do what they need to do, and you're seeing certain guys not at all, to the point of being an outright detriment to the team. And unfortunately, the top of that list right now is Benham Rickhouse. And I saw someone on Twitter, and I'll try to credit it later here, that said Ubben Legend, which is sort of this recurring joke that you would date all the way back to Alex Legion, of someone that got a lot of off-season pub. And I know Benham Rickhouse, even in Big Ten Media Days, got a ton of pub. We got a miss here from Tonje, but a foul on Illinois, so it'll still be Wisconsin ball. Just a good start to this half. 7-point lead down to 2. This is not your starting lineup. We have to stop with that. And I know it's December, but this is not your freaking starting lineup. Now, we could have said the same thing about Trey White coming into this game, and he's been much better, of course. This is not a starting lineup, because just like that, they give up a 4-point lead after having a 7-point lead in 3 minutes. That is not your starting lineup. If Will Riley is not your starting lineup, that's not a starting lineup. That is you just, at this point in the season, a month in, being cuter than you probably need to be. KJ with a great feed to Ivasic, and he makes it to put Illinois back up 2. But god dang it, man. This is not, don't let freshman KJ or sophomore Ivasic fool you. This is not a young team. Not a young team. So why the lapses? Man, sorry, I'm a little bit more fired up than I thought. What can I say? I'm a little bit more fired up than I thought. I want to win this game because this is the only meeting you get against Wisconsin this year, at least to my knowledge. I don't want to lose to Janicki or Gilmore or God knows what. It should not work, and yet it does. To an extent, that is, for a grade guard. I'm going to get the YouTube feed set up here on my computer so I can see some of your chat thread. And I hope that if you're listening to this the day after and Illinois wins by 7 or 8, they're like, man, Carp, chill out, man. Oh, look, Benham Rickhouse, late on his defender, Noah Winter up, in, and 1. Get him out of the game. Unbelievable. Chat thread, help me out. Am I picking on him too much? He closes out late, doesn't block out, and this is an and 1 to take the lead for Noah freaking Winter. He needs to be out of the game, and I don't see anyone checking in for Illinois. Finally, Will Riley is. An absolute joke. If you're going to get starters minutes, at least try to play a semblance of defense. And it's Trey White coming out instead of Benham Rickhouse. Sure, that makes sense. Man, that really, as you can tell, frustrates me. It's funny, I had this chat thread with Trevor and Isaac going. And I said, what's weird about a game like this is Kylan makes a 3 to go back up 2. Thank you, Kylan. He's playing great. I said to them earlier today, I don't have a lot of juice coming into this game, surprisingly for an Illinois-Wisconsin game, because we're still kind of learning these players, right? Turnover by Wisconsin with 16-11 to go by Noah Winter, who's not that freaking good unless Benham Rickhouse is playing defense on him. But that changes when the game starts and you want to win, and it's Wisconsin. And for those that have heard me talk and those that have read my book, if there's one school that draws my ire more than any, it is freaking Wisconsin. They said at halftime, yeah, this team's pretty evenly matched. Are they? I don't need to blow our own horn too much because I think the talent discrepancy as we get into the Big Ten, Kylan with a great move and finish. He has played awesome tonight to go back up 4. I don't know if the talent thing is necessarily even between these two teams. There's a foul there on Ivasic. We'll go to a media timeout. Already 5 fouls for Illinois in this half, but they maintain a 4-point lead. But what's frustrating about games like this, and you all know it from years of watching Illinois-Wisconsin, you watch it, and even when Wisconsin was really good, if you take out, let's say, the Frank Kaminsky's and the Sam Deckers of the world, the talent discrepancy between mediocre Illinois teams and good Wisconsin teams wasn't maybe as stark as the records of both teams would suggest. It was Wisconsin being that much more fundamentally sound, well coached by Bo Ryan, one of the best coaches, admittedly, in recent Big Ten history. This right here, we know what great guard is. We know what Brad Underwood is. And while there are issues with Brad Underwood in-game adjustments, I think he's done a much better job of that tonight, except, well, the Rickhouse thing, I'm not going to beat that dead horse anymore. This is a game where the effort has been there for Illinois, and maybe the shot-making hasn't, but even with that, if you play more sound defensively, this is a double-digit lead for Illinois. And the problem with defense, if you've got 1 or 2 sieves in there, it messes up the whole thing. Boswell's playing out of his mind defensively. KJ is actually holding up, I think, his end of the bargain defensively. Ivicic is tall enough where he can hold his own down low for the most part. Kral's gotten a little bit tonight, but, whatever. I think Ivicic is basically a net zero in terms of his offense and defense. So when you have those just crazy discrepancies where someone is just bleeding points defensively, they can't play that much. At the moment, I cannot see this thing proceeding and being super successful with Ben Rickhouse playing 25 to 30 minutes a game. That can't happen. And you could say, well, Carp, what if he starts making his shots? Fair. But even if he starts making his shots, that is a very specialty role player type thing because he does not do a damn thing else good. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't defend. All right, I need to take a quick breather from that. We got a timeout here. I'm going to get to these chat things here. Jacob with a much more measured thing. Here I am ranting and raving. Ben needs to sit. Yeah. Here I am, just going freaking mad about it. Going to have the first sponsor. We'll do one for each break here. Hamilton Walkers, downtown Champaign, steak, seafood, and spirits. Going to be hitting that up here in the next week with some buddies. I owe them a steak after losing a bet. That's okay. I'll take any excuse to go to Hamilton Walkers, where I get a bone-in steak. We'll get family-style sides of the steak fries, super crispy. I get a Caesar salad with a start, along with their patented old-fashioned, best bartenders in town, along with the best chefs, servers, everything in town. It is a high-class dining establishment. That's Hamilton Walkers in downtown Champaign, steak, seafood, and spirits. 51-47, Illinois with the lead, Wisconsin with the ball, and a nice job yet again by Boswell. Nice is an understatement, stripping the ball from Tonje. Boswell wants it, gets it back to KJ. Illinois resetting their offense with 20 on the shot clock and 15:25 on the game clock. KJ wants the step back three. No good. Morez gets fouled by Tonje. And here's the thing. Not the most blatant foul on Tonje, but a good job of maybe a little bit of overreaction by Morez going for that board and saying, oh, you got me. Well, I've seen more egregious fouls than that, but a really good job by Morez, and we'll probably see that foul discrepancy now 5-1. We'll probably see that start to tighten up. So Tonje takes a seat, and he has been basically a non-factor tonight. But the problem is those other guys have gotten theirs for Wisconsin. This is KJ trying to make something happen, and this is, I believe, I forget number 4 for Wisconsin. Illinois is about to lose it. It's going to be Illinois ball, thankfully, as it goes out of bounds off Winter. KJ loses the handle. Morez tries to corral it, but doesn't quite happen. Okay. From Ryan, a few things here. This is the Trey White that Underwood thought he was getting. Rickhouse needs to borrow that secret sauce. Whatever that is, Ryan, you're correct. And I thought coming into this game, what is Trey White to this team? Well, he's responded big time today, and he's not going to have this offensive output all the time. Will Riley, great take, he'll go to the line. He's not going to have this offensive output all the time. But if he brings that energy, he's going to be a very valuable part to this team. There's been a few miscues. I think he's got 2 turnovers. I don't want to say sloppy, and sometimes that aggression towards the basket is going to result in even more turnovers. But tonight it's working, and I think athletically, Wisconsin's a good matchup for him. He can play well in a game like this because Wisconsin's not the most athletic team. All right, Will from the line. He's not a great free throw shooter. Great offensive player, but not a great free throw shooter. This is from Ben D. Starting to feel like this team is going to spend the whole year figuring it out. Maybe they make noise in March, maybe not. But even if they figure it out early, it's probably too late. That's going to be the thread, right, Ben? This process, which will be maddening at times. No kidding, Carp, as you just spent 5 minutes ranting about one player. That is going to be maddening at times. I still think there is a key to unlock something somewhere, right? And I think that maybe Trey White being more consistent, finding that sort of spark off the bench. Well, I say off the bench. I do think that despite what he's doing tonight, there's still something about maybe him coming off the bench with Dre and Morez to give you that, like, bench mob, right? Will Riley, I think, eventually is just too damn good to leave off of that starting lineup as Benham Rickhouse fouls on the rebound. This is now becoming a Georgie Basham. Do you remember Georgie back in 2020? So this is the year that Illinois would have made the tournament, and they're making that march in the Big Ten. But Georgie has this Chuck Knobloch thing where he forgets how to play basketball. Benham Rickhouse's shooting struggles, I would guess, have started to seep into the other aspects of his game. And now we got another foul on Illinois, which will put Wisconsin in the bonus with 14:42 to go. Now, Boswell doesn't like it, but I don't think you can continue playing Benham Rickhouse. I'm sorry to drag this home. I don't want to see the plus-minus, which is an imperfect stat, admittedly. I don't want to see that plus-minus from Benham Rickhouse right now. It's just, maybe I'm projecting. I don't know. I'm not really sure. From Ryan, Wisconsin, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, so it's danger zone. Oh, look it. Benham Rickhouse doesn't block out on the rebound. Get him out of the game. He should not see another minute tonight. He should not see another freaking minute. He's coming out. Yes. His ass should not see the rest of the game. This is not a game to play around with. Let's get Ben back in shape. No. Do that later. This is not a game where you're going to mess around and put a guy out there to continue to put you in a bad position. Unbelievable. As this free throw was made to bring it back within 4. Man, oh man. Didn't box out as we see the replay here. The guy just went right around him. I'm sorry, I'll drop it. But I'm having a hard time doing that. Here we go. Illinois ball. KJ with 14:35 to go. God, this Wisconsin does this to me. They just do. Here's Kylan taking it to the rim. No foul. Up and in. Still no foul. Great second effort from Kylan, who's just been a monster tonight. All right, KJ guarding up Klesmit here. We got Gilmore, Winter. This is Janicki. Gilmore. Pump fakes it. Jake Davis on him. We might talk about that later. Hopefully Jake just steals some minutes here. Bad pass, from Wisconsin. Illinois will get the turnover. And they're going to call a travel on Boswell on what probably should have been a foul from Klesmit. Now, help me out, chat thread. You probably have the audio on. I'm guessing the boos are fairly loud here. So we get a bad pass here. Boswell with the ball. He stops it. That's not a travel. I don't know. That seems to me to be a bad call. 10 turnovers on both teams. Boswell working around the screen. Here's Klesmit. Up, no good, no foul called. I think there would have been a mutiny if they would have called a foul. Okay, so Illinois with the ball and a chance to extend their lead. Kylan and KJ, a little two-man game there. Here's Kylan on the right side, back up top to KJ, about 25 feet from the basket. Looking for the pick from Kylan. Finds him in the lane. Kylan out to Will Riley. The three is up, and it looked great. But KJ with the board up and in. Unbelievable awareness from KJ. He sneaks down to the lane. He gets the board. Easy up and in to put Illinois up 7. I would imagine here's the thing. When officiating's not good, sometimes I don't mind at the State Farm Center because that's when you get the crowd some juice. Everybody loves bad. In our heart of hearts, we kind of love bad officiating. Here's a take from Wisconsin and a foul on Jake Davis. Let's talk Jake Davis. I guess the question when I see Jake Davis playing right now is, what the hell happened to Kerry Booth? What is going on in practice that Kerry Booth is not getting tick over Jake Davis? Jake Davis will be a role guy at some point, you hope, as a shooter. When he is the 8th man off the bench over Kerry Booth, I think that says less about Jake Davis, who is who he is. And it says more about, the Nuggets time, missed free throw. It says more about Kerry Booth or whatever's going on with that. Now, Jacob says that Hummel says that should have been a no call. And in fairness to Jake, there was a foul in the first half that was like, oh, Jake, what are you doing? What are we really doing here? But that was one that unfortunately, just because of the contact and him being so close to the basket, often does get called. Somehow misses both. I guess ball don't lie, Jacob. There's a ball don't lie situation with 13:09 to go. I'm sorry if I sound so surly. I've loved the effort tonight, and I want to win the game because it seems like most of the teams playing at a level where you should win this game. Illinois with the ball. Here's KJ taking it into the basket, kicks it back out to Jake Davis, over to KJ. The three is open. What a stud. And a nice little dish from Jake Davis. 10-point Illinois lead, and from the looks of it here, a very energized crowd and an energized Illini team probably going nuts right there. In addition to the chicken nuggets after 2 missed free throws. 59-49. The effort's been there all night. The game plan has been there all night. Quicker trigger from Underwood in terms of substitutions. Don't let my ranting and raving about individuals skew what I think has overall been a pretty good team performance. I think the reason that I've been more, let's say, emotional about it, apart from Wisconsin being the team, is that as a team, you're playing well enough to win this game. You're better than Wisconsin. You are. Despite what happened at Northwestern, you are better than Wisconsin. You're at home. And you got enough dudes playing well enough tonight that you should win this game. 10-point lead, that'll do. As we got a second break here, I mentioned Hamilton Walkers, but I'll hit up one more sponsor. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend. Nasty winter weather coming up. It is not too late to make sure that your furnace is tip-top before you start hosting Christmas parties and all the holiday stuff coming up. They did ours about 3 weeks ago, and it's been great. It was great through Thanksgiving. We got a bunch of Christmas things coming up, too. We know that our guests are going to be nice and toasty at our house, thanks to Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend at 217-841-4728. From Mark McCoy, Carp, does KJ remind you of Luka Doncic? Does he remind me of Luka? Admittedly, I am not a huge NBA fan. The talent level is insane. If you just watch 5 minutes of an NBA game, especially an NBA playoff game, it's different. KJ's different. So when he does certain things on the court, there were a couple of messy turnovers in the first half, but not the 3 or 4 that he had right away against Northwestern. So it was better. When you see him with the step back three, when you see his awareness to get a putback in the lane off of a miss, as a guy who's decent size, but he's not 6'9", when you see him have that awareness to find the baseline corner and make it easy, Jake Davis just has to toss it to him. And then he makes the three. I think it's in addition to that and why the Luka thing is not a bad, obviously very different players, different size, different position. Though, well, really, Luka is not despite his size, is not a prototypical big. But no, I think the similarity would be this. They do things on the court that make you say, whoa. They do things on the court like KJ does for Illinois that make you say, oh, you don't see that very much. As an Illinois fan, I don't have a great comp for Kasparas. Really good Andre Curbelo with a little bit less of a headache. I mean, he's got that innate ability that a Curbelo had as a point guard, as a distributor, but a much better scorer and shooter. Now, we got a bad entry pass here from Wisconsin, and KJ thought it should have been over and back, but they cleared that up. So 20 on the shot clock. Klesmit 3 is up and no good. Kind of a force there for Wisconsin. And we're going to go the other way with the foul on Wisconsin. So are we starting to see things even up here? This is good, Big Toda. KJ's poetry in motion with an occasional typo. I like that. And you're going to get that. When someone plays the way KJ does, there will be those. If you can limit it to 2 a game, you're in great shape. Will Riley coming off of a pick, taking it to the hoop, and there's a travel on Will, who has not been great tonight, has had a freshman game, let's call it. All right. From Big Toda, this was a little bit earlier, but foul-wise, I think Underwood needs to take a tee at this point. This is getting ridiculous. Even Hummel said that was a no foul. I think we're starting to see things even out here. Now, that was a foul on Merez, objectively, who was also, as much as Merez was a factor in Northwestern, has had a freshman game. KJ, not a freshman game. Merez will definitely freshman games. And surprising to me because I thought Merez would have a lot of success against this Wisconsin team where their interior is not great. Crowell makes it. Crowell, one of those guys that's just been around for freaking ever, it seems, and has not noticeably improved, really. He's just kind of there. But he is capable, as we see tonight. I feel like he's got probably about 10 points or so of having a good game. 8-point game. Illinois with the ball, 12:05 to go. KJ, Will Riley up top. A little back and forth with Merez coming up for a pick. This is Dre from the corner, not quite, a little bit too strong. Jake Davis with the board. Back up top to KJ. Jake Davis is setting up for a 3. Be there, baby. No good. Merez doesn't quite get it, and this is going to go the other way. 2 good looks, didn't make him. Now, what's going to keep this game close is an inability to make those open threes. And this is Crowell for Wisconsin. That is an error ball, and it will go to timeout here. Ugh, his three-point shooting's been bad. I think he made one earlier, but maybe 1 for 4. Gilmore going to come in. I'm guessing he was not going to come in for Illinois' Benham Rickhouse because when he has been guarding Gilmore, that has not went well. All right, we got a break here. Hit up a quick sponsor. State Farm agent Brian Hansen. Online at brianismyguy.com for life, auto, home, business renters, you name it. Brian is my guy, and he can be your guy as well. Brian, much more even-keeled than me. Like, I've done a few second-half podcasts with Brian. Had a good time when we've done that. And I remember 2 years ago, this is the Matthew Meyer year. Let's not speak of that. And I got frustrated during a couple of those games, and he's probably thinking, good God, this guy's insane. Good thing about Brian, because he's even-keeled. When it comes to things like insurance, he's the kind of personality you can trust. I wouldn't be a good insurance agent. Wouldn't be my cup of tea. And frankly, you shouldn't trust a person like me to do your insurance because, I don't know, a little bit too temperamental sometimes, I feel like. Brian and his staff, excellent. Always quick to get back to you. State Farm prices, which, again, most competitive in the insurance industry, and the best customer service that you could possibly get from an insurance agent at brianismyguy.com. All right, a few things here in the chat thread, and I feel bad that I did not get to some of these earlier. Oh, this is from Ryan. If it keeps up, we'll call him Bum Rickhouse. Here's the deal. I think we need to pivot, and I think it would be beneficial for him to be an off-the-bench shooter. It's kind of funny how one game changes that. At first, I thought Trey White, well, maybe you got to start Will Riley instead of Trey White because Trey had a couple of quiet games. Thing is, Trey was still playing defense. He can still rebound. If he's not scoring, there are other things he can do. I think a starting five, this is fair, I think, would either be go big with Mrez and Ivisic starting with each other, and Ivisic basically, if you want to call it a 4, that's fine, but he'd be more in the perimeter than Mrez. So you do 1 in, 4 out, or you do Trey White and Will Riley in that same lineup. Now, that means your 4 position, so to speak, is a little bit small, but are you telling me that Trey White couldn't have more success defending a 4 than Benham Rickhouse? Especially if it's a stretch 4. He might give up a couple inches, but Trey White is listed at 6'6" or 6'7". I think that he'd be able to hold his own. So I think that, and I think he has to start now, this notion of continuing to start Benham Rickhouse, I think is, if you're trying to keep his confidence by starting him, I'm afraid that the more you do that, you actually risk the opposite. Take some burden off of him. You're off the bench. Your role is to shoot. Now, Benham Rickhouse did come back in. Frustrated as I am, I would love to see a redemption story, but I'm just a little skeptical right now. Now, they try to get something set up for him here, and this is KJ taking it to the basket. He's so freaking good, guys. Unbelievable. 61-51, just an innate ability to hoop. I mean, just you watch him and you get why people are enamored with the NBA, because you see these crazy talents just do things time and time again. You're like, huh? Now, Kylan wanted some help on that. Tonje got into the rim for the first time all day, really, on Boswell. Pretty sure it's only 4 points for Tonje. So it's back to an 8-point Illinois lead with 10:58 to go. Here's KJ. He's looking for Dre. Ooh, almost an errant pass, but Dre corrals it. Takes it in. Wow, great strong move by Dre. And I want to see more from him because I feel like playing time shrunk for him pretty rapidly. I think there's still something with Dre. All right, here is Gilmore. Tonje 3 is up and no good, and a big board from Ivisic. Boswell didn't close out too strongly on Tonje. Here's Benham Rickhouse 3. No good. Man, he's in a hole. He is in a hole. Oh, camera guy must have fallen asleep there as we finally catch up with the Wisconsin offense. This is going to be Winter, no good, and this is going to be a take for Wisconsin, up and in, but fortunately no foul on Dre as that gets taken up and in. So back to an 8-point lead for Illinois. Just trading buckets here in the last couple minutes. Man. This is from Jacob. Dre has a lot of O in him. Offense, I mean, I think he's got a lot of game, and I want to see him continue to develop. Good take from Ivisic, but he's only got 3 points tonight. Easy little hook that did not go in. I want to see him on the perimeter a little bit more. Here's Klesmit. Oh, boy. Good switch, but they're going to have to switch back here. Yep. Humrickhouse back on Gilmore. Here's Gilmore from way out. Humrickhouse does get out on him. And we have Blackwell taking it in, and no problem over Dre. So it's back to a 6-point game. Interesting lineup here, and we see Trey White is ready to check back in, as you should. Illinois with 3 timeouts, Wisconsin with 2. Big possession here. Kylan Boswell, long 3, is up and no good, and that was a force early in the shot clock. Here is Blackwell with 9 to go. Gilmore up top. Humrickhouse on him. And a charge, they're going to call a flop on Max Klesmet. Is that right? Well, interesting call right there. Okay, so as I'm looking at this replay, wow. Who'd they get it on? On Tonje, it looks like, by the looks of the camera. So 4 fouls in Wisconsin. Illinois already 10 plus because Wisconsin's in the double bonus, of course. This is actually very much from the Wisconsin playbook. Here's KJ. Out of bounds off of him. This is very Wisconsin Bo Ryan, where you'd look up at the scoreboard and you'd see that, wait, they're in double bonus. And these dudes have 3 fouls. How does that happen? Well, here's Tonje and a foul on Ivisic. So this is going to probably get down to a 4-point game with 8:45 to go. We're back to the starting lineup here for Illinois. And that is a foul. Good take and a good backdoor cut right there and find from Klesmet to Tonje. So 2 shots coming up here. Wisconsin uncharacteristically not good at the line tonight. But Tonje makes the first, make it a 5-point game. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Here's Mraz coming in to replace Ivisic. Probably up through the 8-minute timeout. But if you were to look at, why is this game close? Well, Tonje hasn't gotten his. Ivisic hasn't gotten his for Illinois. The guys that are really carrying this for both teams, I mean, I don't know. For Wisconsin, it's been pretty spread out. KJ has been your guy offensively. Here's Humrickhouse. He's out of the perimeter. This is going to be Boswell. He's taking it down the hoop, but he's got to find somebody, and just Mraz wasn't quite ready for it. So that's a turnover. Just not a high percentage pass. Into traffic, and we have a chance of this getting into 2 or 1-point game here. Klesmet trying to make something happen here. This is going to be Blackwell with Mraz closing in on him on the baseline, but Klesmet will get an open 3. It's up and it's in. No, it's wide. Man, it was on line, and it looked like it was going to go straight through, and it went over the rim about 3 feet. So break for Illinois to still be up 4, but you got to score because this has been about a 2-3 minute drought, it feels like. From Ryan, find a team that hates a 10-point lead like this Illinois team does. The Arkansas game, an aberration in that regard, in terms of playing a high-level team and keeping that lead, maintaining it. All right, so here's Boswell from 3. That's not even close. And I like Boswell's game tonight, but the last 2 threes have been about 28 feet away from the basket, and he's shooting about 20% from 3 in the year. All right, here is Gilmore with Humrickhouse on him. Blackwell. KJ going over the top. He gets back to Blackwell. Mraz helps to stop the ball. This is Gilmore. Back over to Klesmet with Trey White on him, who takes it in. No foul, and it's going to be Illinois ball. So Klesmet, off-balance layup. Not the best defensive possession there from Trey, who's trying to take it in himself, and he does draw the foul, forcing the issue a bit. But fortunately, we'll go the line and shoot 2 when they come back. Hey. All right. Who else we got? We talked about Dr. Heater and Plumbing, State Farm agent Brian Hansen, Hamilton Walkers, Owen Builders, LLC, online at owenbuildersllc.com. Luke and his staff, expert craftsmen. When it comes to contractor work, you can trust these guys. They've done great work, and you can see a gallery of that on owenbuildersllc.com. But in addition to that, for anyone that's ever done big home projects, you know that communication can be the big bugaboo, just trying to make sure, hey, when's the contractor coming? When are they going to get the work done? That's not something you need to worry about with Luke and his staff, and that's really what sets them apart. Check out a gallery of their excellent work online and get a free quote while you're there at owenbuildersllc.com. All right. Oh, also, just cheap plug. It's Christmas time. Where'd it go here? Yeah, we got a book, right? And I got to thank people. We've seen the numbers on Amazon go up considerably since December started. A lot of paperback purchases, and I get it. I love a good paperback. That is a perfect stocking stuffer gift. The 200 level book. Sorry, I'm pointing this to the YouTube screen when most get it from audio, but yeah, the 200 level book. There you go. If you need a stocking stuffer for your Illini basketball fan in your life, there you go. So some already have that idea, and I appreciate it, and I hope that it's something that you or whoever you're getting it for Christmas will enjoy as well. So it was fun to write that. It feels like 3 years ago that I wrote this damn thing. I'm hoping that tomorrow, if Illinois were to get a win tonight, that tomorrow I got this ad that I'm going to put out on the socials that I worked for, I spent 30 minutes on doing some fun photoshopping, and it's like, okay, if we win, then everyone's feeling good about Illinois sports, and then you remind everybody about the book. Maybe drive some sales a bit. Oh, Big Tota, these 4 minutes have been gross. Absolutely. All right, thank you all for those that are joining in the YouTube feed tonight. And no wings, no hot ones challenge, as fun as that was. And I actually did okay. There were no after effects of that, which I know some people that do that, there are. Admittedly, I did not eat the whole dino nuggie because we didn't do wings. We did dino nuggets because we had to do it in bulk. I did not do the whole thing because 10 dino nuggies would not have been a good day for me or anybody the following day. So what I did was I tried to make sure to be as honest as I could with it. I tried to find a sauce-saturated part of the nugget to eat. And 1 through 10, all good through about 5. 6, a little bit of a bump up. 8, the bomb was by far the worst. And so bad that 9 and 10 were actually pretty mild by comparison. So we had a lot of fun with that. And what was not a fun finish to the Illinois Northwestern game. Trey White misses a free throw. It is 63-59. And yeah, Big Toto, these last 4 minutes have been gross. He had a 10-point lead, and then just offensively, you have just stopped. Free throw from Trey White is up and good. So you do get one to go back up 5. And your lineup right now, as the camera kicks back to the other end. Okay, Trey White, Ben Americao still in there, KJ, Merez, and Kylan. I'd imagine that Kylan and KJ will be out there for the remainder. They have to be. This is Merez on Crowell, who pump fakes but does not shoot. This is Blackwell taking it down baseline, but a good recovery from Trey White. Blackwell, fadeaway, no good. Great defense from Illinois. And a board will go Illinois' way. Good job by Henrichhaus there to help corral that. Possession arrow goes to Illinois as Crowell got in there late. But man, Henrichhaus is up against it right now. Man, is he. Big game for Illinois because if you can win this, that sets up an even more fun Saturday matchup against number 1 Tennessee, where what the hell? Take your shot at home. Here's KJ over the pick. Didn't force it. Back to Trey White. He's trying to make something happen, but don't force it, Trey. He gets the foul, though. And you know what? That is a heady basketball play. The way the second half has been called, we're going to get more and more fouls called in these last 6:42. This game will probably go easily until 10 o'clock. And Trey right here, easy. Get under Blackwell's arms, go up for the shot, initiate contact, get the foul. Going to the line for 2. Well done, Trey. That's 4 on Blackwell, says Jacobs. That's big. Who has offensively been quiet tonight for Wisconsin. Trey makes the first. Fantastic game for Trey. A big bounce back. And what you hope is that it unlocks the rest of the season form. Not to the degree of, Trey's going to drop 17, 18 a night. It doesn't have to be that. But I don't see any reason why he can't be a 10-6 guy, which is what you thought the high end of a Ty Rodgers would be, a 10-6. All right, here is Wisconsin with the ball after Trey makes both. He's made 3 out of his last 4 free throws when we have not been able to get a shot otherwise. 7-point Illinois lead in a big defensive possession. So we got Merez down low on Stephen Crowell. This is going to be Crowell trying to break down Merez. Merez holds his own. Gilmore, pump fake 3. Henrichhaus gets out, though. This is going to be Klesmit. Up, no good, and a foul on Boswell. So Klesmit will go to the line. I'm guessing he's like a 95% free throw shooter. From Big Tota, Trey is earning a spot, which is what we need. For sure, Big Tota. It's funny how after the Northwestern game, I saw a few tweets and responses to this idea that, are we sure we didn't need Ty Rodgers? And I will say that, I understand the blueprint for this Illinois team offensively. If they're making threes, yeah, they're going to be incredibly difficult to beat. Early going, they aren't doing that. I think they can make it at a higher clip than this. But let's just say if there was another blueprint, as Klesmet somehow misses his first. More nuggets for State Farm Center, we'll find out. Second free throw is up, and he made it. So it is a 6-point Illinois lead. But let's say the blueprint changed, because now we're getting the Big Ten games, and points are harder to come by. You know, Ty Rodgers is a flawed basketball player, but I still think that if you were to not have done a full-on finesse offense, just, oh, wait, KJ3, be there, baby, and a foul. An absolutely monster shot from KJ. He's so freaking good, man. Anytime I get frustrated with this team, which will happen, I just need to remember, okay, I'm watching this dude. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. This guy's nuts. And he has this crazy knack, and we're only in game 9. He has this insane knack for, I'm just going to go make the big shot. He was the only thing keeping that overtime against Northwestern honest. The only guy doing that. So he's your alpha. And as the season goes on, I'm excited to see what else he does. But 9-point lead for Illinois. Free throws up. It's good. A 10-point Illinois lead with 6:08 to go. I'm guessing it is nuts there right now. And 20-plus points in 4 straight games for KJ. Man, oh, man. Big Tota says second year of KJ. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen there. We got a foul. Klesmet takes it in hard, and I don't know who they're going to get this on. Probably Merez. Wisconsin will try to muck this up, but you know what? Do it on the other end. Trey did it. He can draw fouls. Kylan can do it. Take it to the rim. I mean, there's one or two ways that this team's going to score, simplistic as it may sound. And you're right, Jacob. Of course, Klesmet flopped. I mean, listen, I don't hate Klesmet, and here's why. I should hate Klesmet for his name and his face and his general Wisconsin-ness. I should hate him. But you know what? He's not Brad Davison. He's not dirty, to my knowledge. He's tough. I can respect that. He makes the first. I'm trying to think of another example of that. I can't hate Brooks Barnheiser for Northwestern. I should. His name, his face, his general Northwesternness. The dude's got game. He's a heady player. He's tough. I can't hate that. It's the guys that I know aren't good that when they play us score 9 or 10. You're like, get it. Gilmore. Who? Klesmet making the second. He does. Okay, so it's an 8-point lead with 6 to go. Illinois in the bonus. Wisconsin in the double bonus. Things have gotten a little mucky here in the second half. Here's Ivasic and KJ trying to do some two-man game. Nope. Ivasic passes it out. Good close out there from McGee, I think, for Wisconsin, though Ivasic had about 6 inches on him. Trey White trying to break down Gilmore. He's trying to take the basket and draw a foul. He doesn't get the foul call on that. Now, it worked twice in a row, and I understand why he did that. Okay, this is Klesmet in the lane, up, no good, and a good board there from Ivasic. And Humrickhouse probably disrupted that a little bit, too, with his size. Big Tota, I will get to this question here at the 4-minute timeout because I need more than 10 seconds to respond to this question. All right, here's Trey White on the feed from Boswell up to KJ. KJ wants it. Oh, he wants it. Yeah, step back 3. He wants it. A little too strong. And this is going to go the other way. So, 70-62, Illinois needs to stop here with 5 minutes to go. 8-point lead. Tonje going the basket and a block. Well done, Trey White from behind him. Big Tota's question, just so we can get it out there and I can respond to it here in a bit. Who do I hate more, Wisconsin or Iowa? Complicated answer forthcoming. 4:58 to go. Wisconsin trying to inbound it, but good defense so far from Illinois in the inbounds. And Wisconsin has called timeout. Let's answer this now then. Who do I hate more, Wisconsin or Iowa? Now, Jacob, are you answering for yourself or for me? Because Jacob says Wisconsin. So are you guessing who I dislike more? I enjoy hating Iowa. I enjoy it. I love that Fran McCaffrey's there. I love that he's a blowhard. It's fun. To me, that is a fun rivalry. Now, I say that as someone that was too young to really know, or I should say, be aware of fully the extent to which Bruce Pearl screwed things up for Illinois. I know historically what it was, but that sort of ingrained hatred, I was just a little bit too young for that. I saw it, but it didn't seep into me completely. But of course I hate Iowa. It's a fun hate. That's how it should be. Wisconsin bothers me. And if you were to say why, it's because I've seen the same thing for 25 years. Now, it is not to the level of what Bo Ryan had. I keep waiting for Greg Gard's teams to be bad. To his credit, they are refusing to be bad. But you just know that they shouldn't be even good. So what the hell? Why is it that we get John Gross and we make one tournament out of 5 years, and then Wisconsin still makes tournaments every year? How does that happen? I do think things will equalize. I don't think he's a good coach. Relatively speaking, in a very good Big Ten. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the game here and get back to this question later. 70-62, 10 seconds on the shot clock for Wisconsin. Here's McGee taking it down the lane, up and in somehow. There's not much more Humrickhouse could have done to defend that, I thought. He didn't foul. He had his arms up. Tough take from McGee. Greg mentions Northwestern, but that's a whole other thing. I mean, here's Kylan up top. He looks for Trey White, who's taking a baseline up. No good, but he does get fouled. So the fouls continue to pile up. I would imagine, well, it's only the 8th foul on Wisconsin, so not double bonus for Illinois yet. Northwestern, Greg, it's aggravating, drives you nuts. I really would like to stop losing to them once a year. They are better with Chris Collins, but they aren't good, relatively speaking, so stop losing to them. Here's Trey. First one's up and good. So he has made 4 of his last 5 free throws. Don't know if he had any in the first half or not, but and I'd like to see totals here. And maybe I should find a live box score here at the 4-minute timeout. He's got 18 points on 5 of 7 shooting and 6 rebounds. Second free throw is up and good too. He's got an easy stroke, good free throw shooter, 5 for 6 in this half in the last few minutes. Puts Illinois back up 8 with 4:20 to go. What a monster game for Trey White when you needed it the most. All right, here's Tonje trying to do something here on Trey White. The 3 is up and good. Why wouldn't it be? Very Dimitri Trice-esque. Contested step-back 3 to bring Wisconsin within 5. This is going to be a dogfight here down the stretch. Ivasic 3 is up and no good. Humrickhouse tries to get something there on the rebound, but it tips to Wisconsin with 3:50 to go. Here is Gilmore up top, trying to get to Tonje. Kylan Boswell on him, and I assume Kylan will be on him the rest of the game. Him and Trey have been switching up, probably just to conserve some energy. Boswell trying to get over the screen. He does. Tonje is getting his forearm there on him. The shot is up and no good. And Ben Humrickhouse cannot corral the rebound. It gets knocked out of his hands. I'll wait until the timeout to comment on that. Here is Gilmore with Humrickhouse on him. McGee over the screen. KJ gets over. And this is Tonje, and it will not be a foul. Oh, a shot clock violation. Okay. It'll be Illinois ball coming out of the timeout. Why is Ben Humrickhouse playing right now? This is about winning a game. It is not about building a player's confidence. Get him out of the game. Underwood, don't be a stubborn ass about it. Get him out of the game. Will Riley is not going to play any worse defense, and he might actually score. If we come back from the timeout and I see Ben Humrickhouse out there, I'm going to be just mildly pissed. Maybe a little bit more than mild. Or thank you, Jacob. If you're going defense, put Merez back in there. Have Merez guard Crowell down low. Have Ivasic play out on, I would assume, it would be Winter or Gilmore. Probably Winter. Gilmore is a little more of a wing. What are we doing here? How many times do you need to see a guy flubbing his way around the court to say, tonight's not his night? We aren't going to get him back on course tonight. And don't, for the love of God, if we need a shot later in this game, if you draw something up for him like you did RJ back in Indiana 2 years ago, I will lose my stuff, is the PG way I can say it. But I already kind of lost my stuff earlier. I don't want to say I told you so, but this has been bad. It's been really bad. And I hate that it's bad. I don't want it to be bad, but it's in front of everybody. You know that people at State Farm Center are groaning when he does another, what the hell, what's going on? And now it's in his head. Save him from himself. Give the kid a break and stop forcing the issue that you got to play him late in a crucial game. I don't know. If I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, I do apologize. I've done it before. I will do it again. Thank you. Big Tota says, fix him in practice, not in a highly contested game. Now, the thing is, Tennessee probably ain't going to fix him. Missouri looks pretty good. I don't think that's going to fix him. If my happy ass is all the way down to St. Louis and I see him continuing to flounder on the court as we're in a tightly contested game with Missouri, I'll be angry. What am I going to do? Nothing, because I'm a fan and there's not much I can actually do. And that's how it should be. I can complain, which is what I'm doing right now. Is it constructive? No. But got to get it out. And he's still in. 72-67. Illinois 9 for 27 from 3-point. 7 points off the bench. Here's KJ trying to drive it in. He finds Ivisic. That is unbelievable stuff to put Illinois back up 7. Wow. KJ is a killer, man. He is a killer. Wisconsin ball, 2:45 to go. This is going to be Klesmit. This is Winter back up top, and he makes it. Ivisic had to follow Klesmit. Well, I guess he did. Wisconsin's hit enough shots to hang in this game. They're not as good as you, but you know what? They're hitting timely shots. KJ step back up, no good. Ivisic up, no good. Oh, my God. Trey White with the dunk put back. Oh, my God, dude. Whoa. Ivisic putback doesn't go in. Let's look at this again. KJ fadeaway jumper from 10 feet doesn't go in. Ivisic turnaround, bounces out. Trey White one-handed dunk over Gilmore. As it should be. As it should be against Wisconsin when you got a dude like Trey White. They don't have a dude like Trey White. They got skilled basketball players, whatever. No, Trey White's skilled. He's also a dude athletically. That's the difference. What a game for him. 21 points. Back to a 6-point Illinois lead. As Jacob says, Trey White, KJ, MVPs of the game. 100%. They have been unbelievable. Boswell, maybe more in the first half than this. I thought he was really good early. A couple of forced threes, but defense still pretty good for him because Tonje has still been unable to really take off. 2:20 to go. Every possession, massive now, and every stop gets you that much closer to a big win against Wisconsin. 2:10 to go. Here is Blackwell over the pick. Ivisic helps to stop him. KJ damn near gets the steal. He almost did. Active on defense for a young dude, 18 or 19, I forget. That pro experience right there. Like, when you got to turn it on defensively, you can say what you want about Euro ball or NBA ball. Yeah, they play defense. They do. And sometimes it's really good. Wisconsin ball, Blackwell up top. 10 on the shot clock, 2 in the game. Blackwell going down the baseline. Good job by Ivisic to stop him. The 3 is up and no good. But this is going to be a rebound for Wisconsin. And Blackwell with the 3. It's up and no good. And a rebound for KJ. Massive rebound and a big stop. 2 missed threes for Wisconsin, 1:40 to go. Here's KJ. It's closing time. Boswell wasn't looking. KJ shouldn't have thrown it to him. Boswell, 15 on the shot clock. He's looking for KJ. Here we go. 10 on the shot clock. 1:30 to go. Ivisic comes up. Here's Boswell. Fakes the 3. It's going to be KJ. Be there, baby. He gets fouled. As an NBA player. That is an NBA player. And we can look at this replay, and he might have kicked out his leg a little bit. I want to see this. Did he do the Reggie Miller? I mean, Gilmore comes out, and that ref was right there, so there had to have been contact on his right arm. Great ball movement. You're right, Jacob. And I think that what we saw there Great job by Kylan. That feed was absolutely perfect. So we got 3 free throws coming up for Jakucionis. 21, 6 and 5 for him tonight. First one's up and good. 7-point Illinois lead. From Johnny or Johnny. Sorry, Johnny or Joni. I'm going to go with both. KJ is so good, man. I mean, sometimes that's all I can say. You can analyze it as much as you want. The dude is a pro. This is it. There's no 2-year thing with KJ. There are such things as Ubben legends. I know Bunham Rickhouse is not shaped up to be that yet. KJ was another Ubben legend coming into this year. He's lived up to every bit of it. Makes all 3. 9-point Illinois lead. Wisconsin hurrying up the court with 1:20 to go. Here's Blackwell taking it to the basket. No good. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Whew. To see, though, in a moment like this, you got the Arkansas game, and that was really just you keeping them at arm's length, big shot after big shot. To see in a tighter game what happens when the other team keeps pushing you, a conference game no less, and to do this responding after the Northwestern game, I think there's a lot of positives we could take from this so far. Goes to an 8-point Illinois lead with 1:16 to go. Noah Winter sitting down maybe for the rest of the game here, unless it's just an offense-defense. Blackwell, second free throw. Up and no good. Whew, rolls right out. All right, so Trey gets the board, finds Kylan, who will bring it across half court against Klesmet. Klesmet showing some pressure here. Kylan with the ball and 15 on the shot clock. Meanwhile, McGee is all the way up on KJ, so they're really forcing the issue. Kylan loses it, and we got a foul. It looks like they're calling a foul on Blackwell. He doesn't like that, and I don't blame him. A messy bit of ball handling from, well, you know what? I don't know, man. The way he reached in there, I've seen more egregious fouls. And that's going to be on McGee. I'm sorry. Though I think they mixed up McGee and Blackwell. Did they? Well, either way, Collins going to the line to shoot 2. Makes the first. If you're a Wisconsin fan and you're ticked about that, I get it. It looked as if he got the stop. Back to a 9-point Illinois lead. Am I going to apologize for it? No. Kylan to put Illinois up 10. Yeah, that's what I thought, Jacob, that it was on Blackwell. And Blackwell and McGee are like, it reminds me of the Seinfeld where George is trying to convince people that he's not racist. And he's like, he says, you look like Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson. His friend's like, oh, we probably all look like that to you, don't we, George? So here's the ref calling it on the wrong guy because they have similar hair. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you misconstrue that. 4 wasn't even in on the play. And a silly job there from KJ fouling Klesmet on the 3, and he can make it a 6-point game. Now, you got to have awareness there. KJ was late. A little bit of acting there from Klesmet, but that's just dumb. Henrichhouse comes in for what I guess would be free throw shooting. And right now you got Ivisic, Henrichhouse, Trey White, KJ. I would assume Kylan's in there as well. Nope, Merez, right? Illinois didn't block out on the free throw. We're going to see the replay here, I would imagine. Illinois has 3 timeouts. I'd kind of like to see them use one. Let's watch this here. That is on Trey White, I would think, for not knowing where Blackwell was. Blackwell came in from the 3-point line and got that rebound. Now, fortunately for Illinois, he misses the first. And Jacob, here's the thing. Is that on Henrichhouse? I mean, he had his guy blocked out. I mean, trust me, was I ready to pounce? You bet. But I don't know. Now, they do make the second, so it is a 6-point game, 2 possessions with 45.6. Are they going to play it out or extend it? I would imagine they extend this game after some traps. So here's Trey White. He finds Kylan. Can Illinois break this pressure? They did, and they did so pretty well. So Rickhouse will go to the line, and I would assume he got put in there for that specific reason. Now, I don't think he's shot many free throws this year, though. So someone just fouled out. It looks like, maybe. No, well, now Tonje and Winter are coming back in, so maybe no one fouled out. But Rickhouse will go to the line. And that is Blackwell who fouls out. Really 6 fouls on the night, but they didn't get him on the last one. And Jacob says, I think Ben got sucked in instead of boxing out. I mean, that could be an argument. You know, he's big enough where just keep the guys out and Trey's going to come in and get the board. I don't know, but regardless, just get the board. Rickhouse misses the free throw. Second free throw. It is up. It is good. Most importantly, it is a 7-point lead. Dre comes in to play some defense. Just let him finish the game, Brad. Thank you. Looks like Rickhouse will be done for the night. 82-75. Here is McGee, and it's Tonje over the pick. It's up and good. And a timeout from Greg Gard. Boy, this team is allergic to finishing games sometimes, aren't they? Now, if they make their free throws, it probably won't matter. But they are allergic, it seems, to finishing games. Now, is that youth or inexperience? It is probably a lack of playing together, but I don't know. The Alabama game, that's your first loss, right? They kicked your butt, is what it is. You shouldn't have lost the Northwestern game. You did. You bounce back tonight as far as effort is concerned. You just didn't make enough three-pointers. I mean, if you make just a few more, this isn't a game, but you didn't. So what I'll be interested in going forward, I don't think you fundamentally change what your identity is because Brad constructed this roster to be a three-point heavy roster. Okay. You see Tyler Underwood here helping him drop a play. You constructed this to be a three-point shooting offense. I think it still can be. It hasn't been yet. If Rickhouse is not a reliable 38%er or something like that, which I'm pretty sure is about what he did last year, then, okay, you're down one option. Kylan Boswell shooting about 15% worse than he normally does at three. I think he can get better, but is it going to get up to 37, 38%? I don't know. Ivasic has been off tonight, and usually you can rely on him for 2 to 3 per game. Tonight, not the case. I think just one. Do you pivot? I don't think you do. I don't think Brad will. So strap in and hope you start making more threes. Now, here's the lineup for Illinois. Rickhouse is back in there as an inbounder. No, I'm sorry, as they got a kind of funky inbounds play with Kylan as your inbounder. Illinois still with 3 timeouts. So there's going to be a timeout for Illinois. They take the first. Wisconsin out of them. I don't understand. I mean, okay, if you were to say who else would you put in for Rickhouse, actually, come to think of it, it's not going to be Riley because he's not a good free throw shooter. It's not going to be Merez, for the love of God. I love Merez, but it's not going to be him. And Dre hasn't shot many. So if you're going law of averages, like if it has to be past 2, Ben Rickhouse, you could do worse as far as options to shoot it, right? And frankly, at this point, you just need to get another 1 or 2, it feels like. All right, Kasparas, you'd love to get him the ball. Trey White's been making his free throws. Kylan's pretty good. Ivasic, about a 67, 68%er. 10:06. Here's the thing. When games are close and they're exciting, it can go 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 20 minutes sometimes. But damn, man. The second half has been a slog. Okay, this is going to be Trey White in the corner. And he does get fouled. And a good job by him using his pivot foot because what he did was force the guy to go over his top. And if Janicki Review? What are we reviewing, Greg? So they get into Trey White. And he got this pivot foot. Janicki and Gilmore. I assume it's Janicki. I can't. If I got to watch a guy named Janicki for 4 years, I'm going to lose my marbles. Like, why does this keep happening? Gilmore apparently fouled out. I don't know. I'll save that for another podcast. Ryan said probably reviewing elbows. They are not reviewing it. And was there an elbow? I didn't look close enough to see if there was. Maybe or not. All right, Trey from the line. Up and good. What a monster game from Trey White. All right. You hope that this catapults him to, it's not about being a star. It's about what's your role. And his role is aggressor. Second free throw. Up and good. Well done, Trey. 6-point Illinois lead. Get a stop, and then you're good. 25.7 to go. Here is McGee for Wisconsin. He's going to take it to the rim. Up and good. Fine. Give him the 2. 19.2 to go. Still a 2-possession lead for Illinois. Here comes the inbounds. Dre gets it to Kylan, and he gets fouled. Okay, well done. I mean, Wisconsin can try to extend with the 2, but they're at that point now where 3s are the only thing that's going to do it. Okay. From Dan, got to start Will over Ben on Saturday. I just think it's the right thing to do. I mean, for Ben as well. Like, dude, reset. You're going to be a shooter off the bench. Just chill, okay? You're a shooter. You'll be fine. You don't need to think about anything else other than that. Kylan makes his first. 85-80, Illinois. From Greg, confidence is huge early on for Trey. Certainly. And we saw, like, the Northwestern game wasn't a whole lot going on early for him, and then it just kind of fizzled. I would hope in a game like this that really kind of propels him. Kylan, second free throw. Up and good. Well done, Kylan. Really looking and feeling like a veteran dude, right? Yeah, the missed layup really pissed me off Friday. But Illinois, 22 for 25 from the line tonight. 22 for 25. No good for Wisconsin. Do they get the board? No, don't foul, don't foul, don't foul, don't foul. 5 seconds to go. 3 is no good for Wisconsin. Illinois gets the board, and they are going to win this game against Wisconsin. 9 in a row against my hated Wisconsin Badgers and Greg Gard. Thank you, Brad Underwood, for beating Wisconsin on the regular 86-80. Whew. Hey, wasn't always easy, but Illinois did control that second half for the most part. There were some frustrations, but for the most part, the key takeaway is this. The energy was there. The execution in terms of shot making and sometimes decision making, especially in the first half, I felt like that was what was lacking. If Illinois is making shots tonight, this game isn't close. It didn't feel like Wisconsin was so disruptive defensively that was the reason you were missing shots. I still think the ceiling is high, but being realistic about it, there are going to be games like this that really test your patience. But here's the beauty of it. You got a ranked win. You got a win that's going to look good on Selection Sunday, period. You already got another. Well, we'll see how good the Arkansas win looks. I don't know what they did against Michigan. Did Arkansas beat Michigan? Help me out, chat thread. They made it close, but yeah. And then you play number 1 Tennessee on Saturday. And what the heck? Shoot your shot. And if you are making your threes that night, then it's a ball game. So, thank you for YouTube, friends, joining us tonight. I think overall a positive night for this Illinois team. It always is fun to beat Wisconsin. It just is. I mean, and 9 in a row after the decade where they won, 18 straight? Something ridiculous like that. So that's a good place to be. We will be back Saturday. I'm not going to the game, so I will be here for the second half of the Illinois-Tennessee. Number 1 Tennessee. And knowing the time of it, come on, 4:30 on a Saturday. People are going to be hitting up the bars around 1:30, 2 o'clock. They're going to be good and liquored up for that. It's going to be a great atmosphere in there. Enjoy for those who are going to it. Soak it in. And, yeah, I think Illinois can win. I would imagine the spread coming out will be Tennessee minus 3.5, something like that. So that could be crazy. And you're going to hang. I would be shocked if you didn't hang. as good as Tennessee has looked. That's just college basketball right now. So, as Jacob says here, Wisconsin won 15 in a row. 15 in a row. When did it turn? It was early January of 2020. Io hits the 3 to go up 4 late in the game at Kohl Center, and we haven't lost since. Brad Underwood, for that alone, part of the reason I wrote this book. I mean, if I think about it, you might be saying that's crazy. What, you wrote the book because you're beating Wisconsin? No, it's part of it. Because vibes are good when you beat the teams you don't like. And I don't like Wisconsin, and none of us do. And they owned us, and it frustrated the crap out of us. And now we own them. And pretty sure that is the only time we play them this year. And I just need to check on that because with this new Big Ten schedule, you just don't play. You don't have a lot of 2 plays. Ah, darn it. Well, you do play them February 18th at Wisconsin. But you know what? I don't know. I think we'll be better by then. For all I know, Greg Gard and his Wisconsin team will be in their usual February swoon. That's kind of become a thing for them. So, all right, everybody. Well, YouTube, thanks again for joining me tonight. This was more of a traditional get back to it kind of podcast in the second half. We have done only a couple of those this year, so we're really going to get back into it, including Saturday. I will be at the Missouri game, so nothing for that second half the following Sunday. But in the interim, we'll get some football podcast. I got my Orlando trip all planned out. We'll talk some Citrus Bowl. And, yeah, that was good. Last thing here. Mark says, what % chance do you give us to win Saturday? 40? Yeah, it's early in the year. Tennessee's number 1. They're, I think, certifiably a top 10 team. And they may very well, by years end, still be a top 5 team. But it is early. And you're at home. And it's non-conference. And I'd say 40. When you got dudes like KJ, when you have Tomislav, who will have a bounce-back game, when you see Trey White finally put everything together and have a monster game, when you see Kylan Boswell start to play well, but most importantly, when you see renewed focus on the defensive end, for most of the guys, that is, and rebounding as well. Because, Brad Underwood talked about offensive rebounding. He was so pissed about that after Friday night, as he should have been. When you see that renewed focus, you see a team that is responsive. Okay, tonight was great, but it certainly wasn't perfect, and it was not without fault, not without issues. Fantastic. So what do we have to do on Saturday to get even better? It seems like a coachable team. It is certainly a talented team. If things come together, yeah, you can beat Tennessee. It's at home. That environment, guys, is going to be insane on Saturday. So, again, for those who are going, enjoy. It's a big one. And why not let that catapult you to the rest of the year as a top 15 team? Because I ultimately think that's kind of what this Illinois team can be. When they don't look good, of course it's concerning. But this was game 9. We can be frustrated in the present, but still say, wait a second. There's a lot left to play, and there are pieces there that if we figure out the chemistry behind it, we can be pretty damn good. Tonight felt like a step in that direction. ESPN metrics from Jacob says 43%. Okay, there you go. Even the stats would bear out that these teams are not that far apart. And the stats also bear out that Illinois was a better team than Wisconsin coming in. That's why I thought we would win. And I thought if you make a few more threes, you're winning more comfortably than you did. Good performance tonight. 9 in a row, baby. 9 in a row. Chat thread, if you got any ideas for titles for tonight, I don't know. As you're thinking about titles for this podcast, because I'm kind of struggling at the moment, want to thank our sponsors again, of course. Hamilton Walkers, downtown Champaign, Steak, Seafood, and Spirits. A great spot any time of the year, but especially during Christmas time. Going to go with some friends this week to settle a bet, and I'm all too happy to pay for their steak dinner because I'll be buying myself a steak dinner at the finest dining establishment in Champaign. Hamilton Walkers, downtown Champaign, Steaks, Seafood, and Spirits. Also, Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend. Give them a call at 217-841-4728. Owen Builders, LLC. Online at owenbuildersllc.com. Check out a gallery of their work and get a free quote today at owenbuildersllc.com. And finally, State Farm agent Brian Hansen, online at brianismyguy.com. Life, auto, home, business, renters, you name it, Brian is my guy, and he can be your guy as well at brianismyguy.com. Illinois wins. Wisconsin loses. 9 in a row. Sorry, Greg Gard. I don't feel a bit bad about it. It's going to be fun after this. I do this. It's a new pastime of mine. I'm going to go on Twitter. I'm going to just search Greg Gard. And it's so fun to see opposing fan bases have meltdowns. Maybe not a meltdown tonight for Wisconsin, but a sort of resignation to the fact that they're fine, but they aren't that good. And you know that, and I know that. This is not Bo Ryan's Wisconsin. And that makes me a really, really happy guy. On top of the fact that Illinois won. So, hey, it's a great night overall. Anytime you beat Wisconsin, I'm loving this 5-year stretch. This is great, amazing. And by the way, if you're feeling as good as I am, why not relive all these great Illini basketball memories with the 200 level in Illinois Fighting Illini Basketball Fans Journey? Available on Amazon in every format, and then if you're local, Game Day Spirit and Jane Addams Bookstore. So it's a great stocking stuffer for the Illini fan in your life. All right, cheap plug over, podcast over. Thank you again for tuning in, and enjoy this win, and let's get back to it Saturday against number 1 Tennessee. It is the 200 level. That was fun. The early part of this podcast is me just kind of ranting on Ben Rickhouse, and it was bad. It was bad, but good night. So thanks again, everybody. Take care, and we will see you Saturday for the second half. If you're not going to the game and you want a little bit of live reaction during the second half, I'll be right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right, everybody. Take care.